haven't put any.
Start now. Let's do it. So let's go back and see what you learned, right? Let's look at it. What was this biggest takeaway from this lesson? What was the biggest takeaway from this lesson?
Spend time in market and not skills.
Yeah.
Spend time with the market, right? Write it down. Write it down because you want your unconscious mind to remember that. Write it down. Write down 3 things which you learned in that session because you want to write it down. If you don't write it down, you'll forget it.
Create a product.
Sorry?
Create a product.
Yes.
Hire a skill.
Yes. Write it down. What do you think? But was it good? The session we did earlier. Was it good? Was it useful? Yeah? Now you understand how expert market, the delivery method?
Yeah.
How you need to deliver it. How you need to get out yourself, take yourself out there and start doing the work. What are the steps, right? We need to do it. All right. So what are the biggest takeaways? Share it, please. Who's going to? Anybody?
Understand the market, create. And
Yes.
understand the game and its rules.
Yeah, understand the game and its rules. Who else?
Spend time in market, create a product, hire someone with skill if required. Don't spend time with skill.
Well, this is best one. Hire somebody else who want to work in that space.
Yeah.
That's the entrepreneurial mindset now. It's popping up now, isn't it? Cool.
I said, so number 1, focus on market, not skills.
Yes.
Number 2 is follow a proven process.
Process,
Number
yes.
3 is understand the starting point, understand where the present.
Yes. Yeah. Anybody? Yeah.
So find out about the market,
Yeah.
create your product,
Yeah.
and it's not about you. It's about what.
It's not about you. That's right. It's never about you. It's about the market. All right. Alka, Simon, who's ready?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We always say this is what we want to do because we like it.
Yeah.
And that was probably the main thing. But one thing I probably was thinking about, like, you know how even if somebody created it for you, given it, set the path for you,
Yeah.
you become a creator for them. So I was thinking, like, for my exact thing, somebody has told me this is the good business, which is
Yeah.
But the thing is, they haven't put all those creation kind of going there and asking them for what they want, what their dream house looks like. We don't ask that question, right?
No, not at all.
So even if that's the creation I'm going to bring into that business
Awesome.
for them to be successful.
You go and
Right?
research the market.
Yeah. So you go. So and there was like a real example like that. The guy, your prices are 70K higher. Don't
Yeah.
come and talk to me, right? That sort of thing. And I was thinking, like, oh, not really. By the time you add all these sort of things, but we haven't been able to. And that guy was jumping from one thing to another thing as to what he wanted. So we had not taken the time for him to define what did he want.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do the settlement 1.5 year, doesn't matter. 350 square meter land, that would do. That's sort of. Well, how do you define the price for that? And
Yes.
how can he kind of say, oh, it's
True.
$70,000 more? It's like, no, but we didn't do that very
Yes.
well. So that's the thing. That's one thing I was just.
Good. So I think that's the biggest thing. No assumptions.
Yeah.
Everything has to be based on what market says. No assumptions.
When you mention maybe sell one thing, right? You only sell one product.
Yes.
Remember the strawberry
Sorry, guys.
chocolate?
So just give me.
Remember the three things, because we talked about this earlier before. You said keep on selling one thing, keep the product. It's like a singular point.
Yeah.
But remember the theory of chocolate, vanilla, and
Yes.
strawberry, right?
Yeah.
And how do you apply that in the same
Yeah.
in the same area?
So the theory goes that everybody goes to McDonald's to have a burger, but McDonald's gives small, medium, and large. And let's look at it. Example of my business today, right? So I still sell this 90-day program. But different people to different types, right? Different things. What it means is I sell who are not living in Melbourne today. The price is 2,000 USD. They still get 90 days, They still get everything. They still get that other stuff. That's their small for this book. Right? That's a small for this.
Everything's online.
Everything is online. Right? That's
What
a
about the 3 days?
so they don't get the 3 days. If they want to come and fly to this place and get it 3 days, they pay more. Right? That's an external. So that's my small. My large is going to come when I talk about the large. Right? So there is always something, but also talking the same product means that I'm still teaching the same thing. I'm not changing that in that space. I'm still selling the burger. You can add fries with that. You can add all the other bits into it. That's fine. But you're still telling the same thing.
But your one is you're talking about is more market specific. It's
Mine
not
is
you-
market. Nah,
So do
no
you
assumptions.
Do you offer the 3 options to everybody? No.
nah. I don't offer. So when you guys came in, I only gave you one option.
Yeah.
So remember, there is a rule in sales, which I learned the hard way. You give them one option, more choices to with that one option, right? Means that you give them destination. So let me explain this.
So how long it takes to go to the destination?
Yes, you give them this destination, right? If the destination is Sydney, sorry, when I say you give them one choice, you don't give them multiple choices, you give them one choice. The choice is, I'm taking you to Sydney. Let's go to Sydney. Let's go to Sydney. Let's go to Sydney. But here everybody's standing. And you give them the options to get to Sydney. Do you want to go faster? I'm going to do one-on-one coaching with you. One-on-one. If you want to get there faster. Or you can actually catch the train. Or you can do the other bits, right? You can do the program for 90 days. Right? That's still going to the same destination. Still taking people to become an expert, but taking longer. Some people say, I don't have a time. I don't want to do it. Why don't you just go on my behalf to Sydney? So yeah, that's fine. We'll do it for you. This much how much we're going to charge. Right? So we're still selling one option. This is the option they're going to get. Sorry, one choice. This is the choice. You confuse people with the choices. People come to you with, I want this fix. You say you can have that, you can have that, you can have that. There's so many choices. People get confused and they say, no, sorry, I don't want it. You don't give people choices. You only give them one choice with multiple options to get that choice. Just one choice. You don't want them to make many choices. The moment their brain started to think and make choices, their brain's going to get confused and they're going to say no. If your package has more choices for them, you say, I'll take you, so somebody comes, you run a travel agency. They say, I want to go somewhere in a beachy place. I want to take my family there and we want to spend 5 days. And you can sit there and you can say, you can go to Fiji, you can go to Vanuatu, you can go to Bali, you can go to this place. And I'm going to start thinking, oh, where should I go? Like, this looks good, this looks good, this looks good. Where? If I go there and the lady says, perfect, we have a deal for Fiji, you came at the right time, Fiji is perfect, there is only one thing in Fiji, this 5-star you're going to get this. What I can give you, 3 hotels, you're going to live in 3-star, 5-star or 8-star, whichever. Which one you want to stay? I say, oh, I'll just stay in 5-star. You see the difference? I don't have much to think about. I'm only saying I'm just going to stay at this place. Right?
Just assume the sale's already made. Just then focus on the little details.
Little details after that, right? So if you have people who are saying no to you in your business and they come to you and they're saying after you offer them your service and the product and you show them this is what you're going to do for them and they don't buy from you, the only reason they're not buying today because you're offering too many choices for them. They can't think. They can't think too much. You're giving them too many choices.
What about if market is offering other choice? How do you compete with that?
We're not talking about market.
We're talking about
We're only talking about your target market. We're talking about people. We don't care what people do. Everybody's learning. Everybody is doing their own bits, right? They have no idea. Some people trial and error. They learn along the way. So the best method works today is this. Don't offer too many choices. Offer one choice. Get them or different options to get there. They want to work with you. or they want you hire you, or they want to ride, whatever options they have to get to the same destination. Don't have multiple destinations. Yes, what's going to happen? This is the aha moment for you. When you get to Sydney, you can say to them, you want to go to New York tomorrow. We're going to New York. But you only tell them when they get to Sydney. Don't tell them when they're in Melbourne.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
But do you quantify, like, for example, if I'm packaging a solution, like in my field, if I want to be an ICO advisor,
Yeah.
if I want to package a solution, for example, I found my niche, right? And do you quantify your solution? Do you actually give them measurable sort of goals you can achieve for them, or do you give them something rather general and say, what's your vision, and I'm going to help you realize that vision? Do you?
Deliverable are certain deliverables.
So you gotta make it all measurable.
Yeah.
You
So,
either meet it
yeah.
or you don't. Right?
The two things, right? I pick up deliverables, then I deliver those deliverables. So otherwise, they're depending what they're hiring me for. If they're hiring me for as an advisor, then I'm not delivering anything. That's just an advising service. Then that's just an advisory, right? There is nothing to deliver.
So if you're an advisor and if they say, what value you're gonna give it to me, because you're gonna deliver value, right?
Nobody asked me today. I can get. The reason they ask you this question because your perception is not at the level. If somebody asks you what value you're going to give to us, you need any place where you need to justify your value means that you haven't done the groundwork. That's the only reason. You need to do the groundwork.
Can you just explain it a bit more? Like,
Means that wherever you go and you're trying to do a business with people, and people started asking you like interview kind of questions, right? How many hours of work you done? How much you have done? This, that, all that, and you're trying to justify your need in that place, means that there wasn't any pre-work done or groundwork done. What it means is you need to get them to answer certain things before you jump on the call or get to them with the call. You qualify them, and they need to say yes to work with you. They say, I want to work with you. Not,
This is my
It's your form that you send out for them to
the form is one pre-qualifier. Yes, one is pre-qualifier. Form does most of the work. They
does
justify.
have your introduction in there as well?
No, not because people contact me. They already seen my LinkedIn. They already seen the work.
But do you
But so if they don't know you?
They don't contact me then.
No. If somebody say my this thing, somebody comes in and say, well, they wanna build up. They don't know us, right?
Yeah. So there are two things, right? So what happens is you need to build a step-by-step process how to onboard a client. So say for example, you have a product which you offer and you offer a service, you do certain things, you build an online video. If you don't know anybody, right? It's a random guy popped up from somewhere and he says, I'm looking to work with you. My first question, have you watched my video? Have you watched that? Have you watched my webinar about this information? They say, no, sorry, I don't have a time. I don't want to have a time. I'm really looking for somebody. So you can feel there is a, need for there. There's a pain there. Then you send them, sorry, I don't work with people like that. Can you please fill out this form? I'm already busy with certain things. Fill out this form and then we'll talk about it. So you need to stand on the ground. There is an onboarding process. That's what I call the buyer qualification. When people are buyers, they actually bought it. Right? People are buyers to begin with. So we'll talk about client journey. So leave that, park this for a moment. We'll go into detail, right? This is the journey. You need to understand the journey first before we can actually answer that, because your customers are going through a journey as well, not only you.
What about expectation? Like when they contact you, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna have a certain expectation. How do you align those expectations?
Oh man, people have all sort of weird expectation. As I said, I need to create my rules. So what happens is, when somebody walk into your house, you have a certain rules in your house. Nobody can smoke, like our house, right? You must take off your shoes before you walk into the house. We all do that, and everybody else knows that. They do that when they walk into our house. We don't smoke in our house. That's a rule, right? That's our house rules. And because that's your house, that's your domain, you create your own rules for your business. You must do this. I must do that, and that's where the contract comes in place. You write it down. If you have experienced something where is there a misunderstanding, where people had certain expectation and you didn't meet them, you need to highlight those in the contract, clearly stating that these are the expectations. Means that we only going to respond back to emails within 24 to 48 hours. And if somebody comes back saying, oh, I'm trying to reach you from yesterday, nobody contacted us, what the hell's going on? You said, sorry man, have you looked at this? We don't do that. That's just the contract. And what people are going to say, oh, sorry, we didn't know that, we didn't read it, we didn't understand it. Thank you for telling us. Right? But you need to set the ground rules. The people, we're going to leave this, park this for a while. We have the entire half a day for this, about this. Right? Park this. So, park this. We're going to talk about the rules. We're going to talk about the rules of the game. I've got the contract to go through. I'll walk you guys through the contract as well. So, where we are. Let's talk about the market now. Market analysis. How to do this market thing, right? What is market? Market analysis. What are we going to cover in this space? We're going to talk about no assumptions. What is market, right? So let's talk about the market. Just the real market analysis, no assumptions. We talk about a model, innovate, and invent. We talk about this is very cool stuff. This is the discoveries I'm going to talk about. Become an observer, not a participant. Question things, clear view, without emotions, and start looking what people blindly follow and believe. So let's talk about this one by one. So this is the biggest thing. Now you need to become, when you're looking at the market, you need to become an observer, not a participant. So you need to become an observer view of the world. When you look at it, this is the observer view of the world, right? When you look at stuff, I'm going to move this away. This is not working. Finished. I'm going to bring this here. The observer view of the world is look like this. Oh, if this moves. So you have these two people talking or fighting, and you standing here and viewing this. And you are the observer. You are not participant. Participant would be the third person comes in and you stand here and started arguing with them, whatever they're talking about, right? So I want you guys to become an observer in the world now. If you really want to do the market analysis, you need to become an observer to the world. What it means is you look at the things from objective view. You look at the things, like look at from external, like you viewing that, not participating in that, right? What it means is external perspective. You look at from external perspective, not internal perspective. What is external perspective? If I look at the internal perspective, that all these people, POV, PO1, they are the internal perspective. They're looking at this person from internal thing. I want you to take yourself out of this and look at from external perspective. You're not involved in the scene, you are an external to that scene. When you do a market research, this is very important. You don't get yourself involved in that. You take yourself out and look at from above. Everything. Because that's where your need is. That's where the best way to do the research is. Advantages. Why would you do it this way, not as a participant? What's the reason you should do this, right? You want to find out why you want to become an observer. Observer knows the opportunity lies in the place where the market is distorted from the truth. So what happens is, markets are always distorted from the truth. The money is made where people are distorted from the truth. They don't want to face the truth. They're distorted from the truth. They have a certain value, certain beliefs, and certain way of doing things. You must have a bachelor degree before you go find a job. You must be married at certain age. They're distorted from the truth. Nobody, as a human race, had this before. It's only we created those rules. It's distorted from the truth. Right? We must, in our family, go to, Monash Uni or Melbourne Uni. This is our family rule. We should do that. That's how we do. People are distorted from the truth. They're away from the truth. They have rules and they have culture. They have values. They're away from that. Because they are away from that, That's where the problem is. That's where the fun is. The richest people in the world make their money by restoring the truth to the distorted markets. What I mean to say here is, so why the participants are distorted from the truth compared to the observer? Why people are distorted from the truth? Why they don't believe in the truth? What's going on? The society we live in, it's so weird society. We have a thing called monkey do, monkey see, monkey do. We all been doing that for a long, long time. We've been doing this from our childhood. Our family's been like, if my everybody is doing bachelor's, you should do the bachelor in accounting. Everybody should do that. We all trying to fit in a certain way of doing things. As humans, we're trying to fit in certain place. They all want to follow their tribe. We don't want to be left out. Remember, we all part of the tribe. Somewhere, family, culture, I don't know, countries, we have a tribe. We don't want to be left out from that tribe. They believe past equal to future. That's how it's been done. We all think that. They all have that belief. If everyone is doing it, that's why I'm doing it too. Everyone doing this, that's my reason of doing it. That's how my family, friend, society does it. You must do university degree. They don't want to exclude from the tribe. You must have an objective view of the world. This is one thing. You must view things as objectively, the way they are, not adding your frame on top of that. You just view that as it is. So let's look at it very quickly how the people and how the families and how the people are delusional, how they are doing. If you want to make a lot of money, be successful and have a peaceful life, you must be an observer. If you want to do this, you need to take an external view. I attended, this is not my thing. A lot of people in the meditation world practice this. So this is from a meditation world. I'm adding meditation into the marketing world. That's the only thing I'm doing, right? So the reason I say observer, that's what they teach at the monks. So when I stayed there for 10 days or 11 days, they taught us to become an observer of Vipassana, right? So they teach you. Their teachings are, or any monks, any schools, or any place you go to learn meditation, they teach you to become an observer to the world. Once you become an observer to the world, you are excluded yourself. You're not emotionally involved. Right? You don't feel bad if somebody says to you, because you're watching yourself from the top doing something. What are you doing? There is no fear. There is nothing there at all, because you are an observer. So this is what I'm applying to that same thing. So hear me out. The reason I'm teaching is, if you want a lot of money to be successful and have a peaceful life, the reason I said peaceful is because it comes from a meditation practice, right? They do that as well. You must be an observer. Let's look at objective view of the blockchain world. Right? I'm talking about blockchain world. We can have any other example, right? This is an objective view of the blockchain world. These are the beliefs and value of the people who started this cryptocurrency. They said cryptocurrency is a very new market. That was happened last year. You either love to invest or hate to invest in the market. New investors in the market started to come in. You can make millions very quickly. If you are in a crypto market, you are rich or idiot. The biggest belief is that if you want to be rich, I must find the next Bitcoin ICO. That was my thing, right? I put it up there. I believe this was last year. So this was last year's belief for people. What is the new belief? We can also work in crypto, right? So now think of that. The reason I constructed this entire thing based on the beliefs and the values. So last year, when I was creating a course about cryptocurrency certification program, I knew what people wanted at the time. Their beliefs was cryptocurrency is a new market. We need to learn this market. Their belief was it's a new market and we can make millions. That was their belief. So what it means is they will be happy to pay. If you can make millions, I know that's what their belief is, you can make millions in that as well. The biggest belief they had is they must find a new ICO and Bitcoin. They must find it, because everybody was trying to invest money in ICOs. And I said, if their belief is they must find a new ICO, why don't I teach them? Right? If that's what their belief is. What their new belief is today. Not last year, because times have changed now. Today's belief is we can also work in this space. Right? Is this the belief you came in as well? You can work in this space, right? I must start a new business using blockchain, even I don't need a blockchain. Some people have this belief, I must start a business with a blockchain. Some people is, now I need to find the next Bitcoin. I must learn how to assess. This is supposed to be assess. Not access. Assess. I must know how to assess. Um, assess new ICOs. That's a new belief for people, right? So now you can understand it. If I understand the belief of the market, I can give them what they believe in, right? So what I can do is observer view. This is my observer view. I'm not part of that. I'm just looking from externally. What am I teach them about cryptocurrency? Because that fits in exactly same thing what I talked about last year, right? Exactly same thing. Cryptocurrency is a new market. All that, I knew that's what their belief is. I'm externally looking at the market. That's what I need to teach them. That's today's market. Help them how to find a career. Help them to get started with the business. Learn or teach them how to do that due diligence with the checklist and stuff. Can you see the relationship with this? Does that make sense now? Yeah? Yeah. Makes sense, right? Now I'm just opening up my Pandora's box. So that you can actually see the back end of what I'm teaching. And why you guys are in here too is because of these beliefs. Who had this belief? We can work in that, right? Who had this belief I must start in blockchain business? Yeah? Now I need to learn how to do the due diligence and RCO stuff, right? I know that people had the belief. That's why they came in. So, for your niche, and that's what you need to look into it, what this group of people believe to be true. For your niche, what they believe to be true. In my group of people, these were the beliefs. My group of people, when I looked at it, my niche, these were the beliefs. Last year, this was. This year, this was. Now it's for you. For your niche, what is this group of people believe to be true? What do they believe to be true? What do they believe? Do you have an answer? Or nothing at all?
A couple of things that I've been
Yeah.
one of the things that I've been talking to a few companies, friends, people like the complication with
Yeah.
different processes of doing things.
Yeah.
Payments, transactions,
Yep.
time it takes to get things from A to B.
Yep.
In Korea, companies like delivering things and stuff.
Yep.
There's a lot of complaints about current like payment processes. And
Yep.
you sell something today, but it takes 10 days to get the payment.
Yes. Yeah.
So those are some of the things that just I've been observing what's out there
Yeah.
and what blockchain technology can do and how.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sorry.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So, an answer to this is that a group of people that I'm targeting, they believe that if they just sit in their room after completing their education and apply for 2,000 jobs, in next 3 years they might end up getting one.
No. So let me sort of ask you a question.
Yeah.
So that's not their belief. Their belief says that they must have a job.
Yeah. Then. Okay. So,
That's their belief. Because they've been taught by families to be successful in life, you must have a job.
Yeah.
And you must have a better job.
Yeah.
Must have a good job.
Yeah.
That's the belief.
Yeah.
Right? So now you know they must have a good job, must have that they came from a families.
But they can publish it.
Yeah, they can tell other
Yeah.
people, their parents can talk about it, all that sort of stuff. So now you can actually create a product because you know that they have this belief.
Okay.
Does it make sense? Yeah. So their belief is they must have a good job or high paying job.
Yeah. What I was telling was, I think, with the problem.
Nah, not the problem. We want to talk about the belief. What their belief is. What their value is today. Their belief is they must have this. Or their value says if they don't have this, this is, like when I looked at it, the market, now I'm looking at, so give you one more example is, now what I'm looking at today, if you talk to me today, I'm feeling there is a big gap in the market. Everybody wants to start a business. So this is my market, right? I'm going to be honest with you. So look at this. So this is my market look like. There is a lot of businesses out there who are teaching people how to do a business, how to be a businessman, how to actually start a business, how to do all that sort of stuff from the business perspective. So, but there is an issue with that as much at the moment because they're targeting every business people. What I found is in my market, there are a lot of people who are skilled. They are skilled at something. They have some sort of skill. Right? They acquired working either certification from the university or by working with somebody else for a long, long time. They acquired that skill. And now they want to work in that skill. They want to say, I don't want to work as a job. I want to start a business. Or I already started this business, but I don't know how to take this to 100K or 1 million. I don't know how to do that. They already have the skills, but they don't know how to take the business to the next level. So what I did is, hang on, I can actually teach people how to become an expert. Right? I make people expert, then when they become an expert, I'll take them to the next level. Does it make sense? Yeah? That's my business market. So I'm not targeting everybody who's doing a business. Nah, that's not my market. My market is people who are skilled, very skilled in specific area. Right? They are skilled and they want to take the market to the next level. So I'm targeting very specific people. What happens is it makes it easy for me to target people. So that's what my niche is. And they have a skill and they want to start the business based on that skill set. Or they have already started it and they don't know how to take it to the $1 million or something. Right? That's what my market looks like.
Question then, with the business side of things,
Yeah.
skill, becoming an expert is one thing. But do you need any initial sort of investment additional to actually take it to the next level?
This is a very good question, and thank you for asking. The beauty of this business is where we are right now. You don't need $100,000 investment. Not. The things are so cheap. Like you pay for education, which is going on, which along the way you do it. But also along the thing you also do is Zoom is I don't know $100. Webinars are $1,000 per annum. Like they're not like there is no BAU expenses. There is no operational cost as such. You don't need a brick and mortar. You can do it from home. Right? So they're very cheap in that space. You already have a laptop. You already have a laptop with a camera. You can record stuff, right? So that's already there. So there's no as such capital expenditure in this space that much. Only thing is you need to learn the skills and techniques to do it. So there's no like traditional business that you need to spend a lot of money to do this. Right? So as an expert, you're already at an external observer who provides the outside view. So that's where the fun starts. Because when you start and work for any company, you're already an external. That's why they hire somebody to do it. Because you come with an external perspective. That's why they need somebody else. They don't want somebody from the company. They need somebody as an external to do it. Best question to ask is why? So if somebody comes to you and they talk about, from your perspective, you want to talk to people. A lot of people get into the detail very quickly. Everybody you're going to meet, and because you are in space, you're going to meet, they're going to ask you detailed information. They're going to ask you the detail. They're going to ask you the steps. So my recommendation is don't get into the steps, please. Don't answer the steps question. Don't answer that how much it's going to do. Don't answer that question. My question is always why and why and why. Why do you do this? Why do you need this? What's the reason behind it? Why are you doing this? All that. If somebody says, I want to learn, I don't know how to build a website. Why do you need a website? Why? Because what happens is when you ask a why question, they respond back is they're going to try to find the answer. Why do you need this? So the answer to this goes like example, I don't know how to build a website. Why do you need a website? So that I can direct more traffic to my page. Oh, why do you want to direct traffic to your page? So that people can reach me. Oh, okay. Why don't you just do it by Facebook page? Oh yeah, I can do that. All right? So you need to ask why questions. This is what we're talking about you speaking to your clients. When somebody says, from Sandy's example, right? When somebody says, I need your help to write me a CV. And normal people, what they do is they start saying, okay, this is how much I'm going to charge, this is how much it's going to be, and I'll send you the code and I'll write you a CV. That's it. My question would be, why you need a CV? Why? The person goes, oh, so that I can get a job. Oh, what sort of job are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for this job. What else have you done trying to find this job? Right? You explore, explore. Keep asking that. Because what happens is, they think that they need this solution from a client perspective. They think that they need this solution, but they don't actually know that if that solution is right for them or not. As an expert, that's your responsibility to either tell them, to ask and explore, and give them the right solution.
Like a lot of people ask, I really need a cover letter, can you send me a template if you have ever signed? That's it.
Yeah.
I just sent
Why you
the
need it?
email
Yeah.
properly, I just wrote the email properly.
Yeah.
But you don't need a separate cover letter. Who has time?
I think
some clients, they do ask for it. Please submit your CV with a cover letter.
These days, I think everybody has made it optional and to.
But I think don't get into the detail of that.
Yeah.
The execution of the work,
Yeah.
the work only matters at the end when you are satisfied. The first thing to confirm is, why did I need that? So if somebody asks you, I'm going to hire you to write me a white paper. Say, what do you need to write a white paper? Oh, because we want to do an ICO in next 3 months. Okay, why you want to do it next 3 months? Why not tomorrow? Oh, because this. Oh, what's the reason you want to do ICO in July in this place? Oh, we want to raise $10,000 or $20 million, whatever they want to say. Okay, why you want to raise $20 million? Oh, because that's what we need. So I'll keep asking questions and you'll find the problem. What's the reason they're doing what they're doing? And they believe that need to be done, right? Sometimes they need a white paper tomorrow. Sometimes they need after a month. You can actually help them because you're exploring that. So ask the why question. Don't get into the detail. Have I given you the example of when I went to one of the clients? I'll give you, I don't know if I told you guys. I went to one of the client sites, right? I don't get into the discussions with analytical people ever. And this is what we're going to talk about frame control tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you now, just don't get into the discussion with analytical people. The reason is, analytical people are very analytical, as people come from the accounting or analytical background. They are very analytical. They need details. Can you please tell me how much it's going to be the profit and how much it's going to be all the detail, the numbers, exactly. Can you tell me how many webinars you're going to deliver, or can you tell me how many hours we're going to be studying in that place? What time is going to be the lunchtime? What's going to be the afternoon tea? All that stuff. These are analytical brain coming to you. If you get into the detail with analytical mind for any reason, and you're trying to tell them this is what's going to be, you got into the trap. Don't get into the trap. Don't get into the trap. That's a trap.
The sea people.
Yeah. So don't get into the trap for that. Please don't get into the trap. I'll give you an example. Went to one of the board meetings and the guy wanted to hire me and help them with the staff. And that was last year when I was thinking what I'm going to be doing, right? So the guys wanted to hire me and they said, and how many sessions are you going to be doing it? So my work was supposed to be with the CEO. I work as a CEO mentor and help them with their success. And there was few board members sitting there with the CEO. And one of the guy was typical MBA analytical guy with all the steps and processes. And the question was, when we were sitting there, and he goes, Jack, how many monthly sessions are you going to be doing with us? Can you give us the detail of the monthly session and what time are you planning to do it for us? So what it means, it's the first meeting. I don't know what they're going to be doing. I don't have the plan yet, right? Nothing. And what if I said 4 and he had 8 in mind? Or what if I said 10 and he had 3 in mind? I would have failed in any sequence. I would have failed completely. So my question was to this guy who was the CEO, David. I said, David, let me ask you a question. I know what Sam is asking, but tell me one thing. If you're looking to get the results, what are you telling me you want to get the results? Would it matter if I do for 3 3 sessions, or would I do 10 sessions? Would that matter? He said, no, as long as we get the results, nothing matters. I said, Sam, is that your answer? He go, yeah, I'm fine with that.
So you address a stakeholder, another person.
Yeah. Oh, because my stakeholder is the CEO, not this MBA guy.
Yeah, but what happens if your client is a C person, he's a like political guy?
Or same thing, I'm going to say the same thing.
deviate.
No, I'm not going to get into that first meeting. You'll get that answer. How many we're going to do later down the track, but let's sort of confirm. The first meeting is to see if we can fit together. We work together.
We've experienced that a lot with projects, like when clients start giving the solution in queue to say, we say, no, stop.
Ah.
That's our job. You want the output you want, whether we put a Dell laptop or HP laptop, that
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
the outcome that you're after. So how do we bring you to that point?
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. I think that's where all.
I mean, you have to draw the line, or else the risk never stops.
All right. So we want to do a bit of exercise, right? So before we do the exercise, I want you guys to, except you, everybody stand up, stand up, stand up. We want to do the exercise. Just, all right. So just twist it, like twist your one side. Just pull your arms out. Just move around for a minute. All right. Move around. Do the shoulders. Cool. Ready? All right. Sit down. We're going to do this exercise now. This is the main exercise.
Just do it on our business.
Yeah, please. So let's look at this. Pick a target market. I want you to pick a target market. What's your target market look like? Any business, any niche you want to talk about, we pick a target market. Right? Pick a target market. Who you want to work with? Pick a target market. What's their target market look like? What's your target market? Spend a bit of time just trying to find a target market, exactly who they are, what they look like. Then we're going to talk about. It's not about your niche yet. It's not about your niche. We're going to talk about target. Who you're targeting, right? First, we'll talk about the niche very quickly later tomorrow, or I think later this afternoon. How you define your niche as well. But this is about who you want to target. What do they look like? Don't be trying to be right in this space, because we're going to sort of change it.
So you go through every single question? Or
Yep, every single.
So every single question?
Yes, please, yeah.
Characteristics.
So write it down the next one as well. What are the characteristics they have? What their character traits are. What do they believe to be true? What do they believe to be true? What are their biggest desires? What are their biggest desires and fears? The first one is pick a target market. What are their characteristics? What do they believe to be true? What they believe to be false? What are their biggest desires and fears? What are their biggest desire and fear? So now think of that as, if we know this Facebook targets and values and everything, you'll be able to create a product to fill that gap. So this is very important, because when I created my product was based on what they believe to be true. I knew it what they believed to. I knew it what
But
people.
what they believe to be true is not necessarily true.
True. That's what the last question is.
Distorting away.
Yes. Are they distorting away from the truth? That's where the market is, right? That's where the fun is. If you teach them something, if you do something, bring some sort of product. Yes.
Sorry, what's the last one? I didn't even put down.
So the last one is the market distorting away from the truth, the objective truth, or towards it. So what it means is, so they believe something to be true, right? They believe that certain things are true. But is it actually the truth, or the distorting away the objective truth, right? Say, for example, if somebody says that in this team, if somebody comes and says, Jag, I must have a university degree to become an expert. I must have this, right? That the market in this room then will be distorting away from the truth. That's not the objective, right? They're going away from the truth because they believe that. So it's not the truth. It's not true in any sense or form. They're just going away from that. So you need to understand, is your market doing the same thing? Are they going, say for example, in your market where you are at today, right? We talk about the housing market, right? I don't know the target market yet, but if your housing market, they believe in, they must have an expensive house, and that's what their belief is, the expensive house build them the status, and they must have that, that's their value today, right? That's not the truth. That's not the truth. They must have it. They can have a $100,000 house as well. But if your target market says that they must own a house, but that not only own the house, their house must be really expensive. They have to be expensive house because that builds their status. They believe that to be true in today's world because they been taught that. What they believe to be false is that if you live in an old house, or the not a good cheaper house, then it's not a good thing. Right? They live in that space. So that's the housing place, right? We're only talking about. So they are actually distorting away from the truth.
But if that's their belief, how do you convince them that that's not?
You're not convincing them. You're providing the product to support that belief.
So you're going to support whatever they believe that may be false.
It's not about the false and true. It's about we think it's a false or true, right? We think that. It's nothing good or bad.
Can I share my
Yeah,
example?
yeah, please.
I'll share my example, and you can give me a bit of insight.
Yeah.
Because I'm already in this space, so if I want to pick a target market,
Yeah.
I want to pick ICO projects that already have established a team,
Yeah.
and they need to have a draft white paper, and and preferably they have an MVP as well.
Yes. Okay.
So the reason why I want to pick that is that they're serious.
Yes.
They're not just a bunch of kids. They have an idea. They want
Yep.
to run for.
Yeah.
Number two, and characteristics, I think they're entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And they're made up from artists, and they're young, ambitious, and very driven.
Yep.
But also their lack of experience in the real world. That's their characteristics.
Yep.
And what they believe to be true, the ICO has huge potential, and the market is still on the bull run.
Yep.
And their product will dominate the world. That's what I hear from a lot of young kids.
Yep.
ICO projects. what they believe to be false is that it's actually at the moment it is very difficult to raise money in this
Yes.
market,
Yeah.
and 90% of the time the idea will not work. That's
So-
what they believe to be false.
Is it true?
Yes, I've done a bit of study because out of all the ICO projects, a lot of them don't even go very.
So, okay, let me sort of say what they believe to be true and what they believe to be false is
What they
not
believe to be
not what
false.
they're trying to do.
Now, what they believe to be false, my understanding is of what they don't believe. Is that right?
Yeah, so they are doing something today. They're running a business. They're trying to make their business successful.
Mm.
But it does not mean that they believe that as well. So let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Most of the people you speak to the ICO world today,
Mm.
they know that a lot of ICOs going to disappear very soon.
Right.
They know that it's really hard to raise money.
Mm.
They know that and they believe it's true and they truly believe that it's raising and money in ICO is a hard work.
Right.
They believe that, right? It's a truth for them. They believe that it's a hard work. It's not easy. I can't just raise money. It was easy a couple of years ago, but today it's really hard work,
Yeah.
right? They believe to be true. That's belief for them,
Okay.
right? For that is because now they believe that it's a hard work. It's really hard for me to do the work. It's hard for me to raise the money. I don't think so. We'll be able to do it, even though we have really good idea. We believe in our idea, everything. But now it's a tough market out there, right? So what it means is they're gonna be more likely to pay for your services in this space because they believe that it's really hard.
Yeah, but what happened is because I run into a lot.
Yep.
A lot of them, they even have MVP.
Yep.
They work a lot and they don't have the money. Their working capital, their cash flow is down to the toilet.
Yeah. So
and they try to offer me tokens and stuff.
yeah.
And they have no money. But anyway, I'll go forward with the biggest desire and fear. So I would say the biggest desire is to for a successful launch, dominate the global market, and raise desired amount of capital.
Yeah.
And their fear would be failure to raise capital and fail their product launch.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say that's pretty much it.
So everything is to do with the money at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fear is, the desire is they want to raise a lot of money. The fear is they won't be able to do it, right? All that sort of stuff. So it's everything is coming is like this. So they want this. The desire is this. They're currently here, right? So if we talk about your clients today,
Yeah.
and in the especially ICO case, they are standing here. This is their now what do you call current view of the world. This is their desired future, and there is a gap. Right? Now this is the same thing what we talked about earlier. This is their current view, and this is their desired future. Means that they want to raise money for ICO. So now the question comes is, the more this desire is high, the higher the gap is, the higher the money they're happy to pay you. The more the desire is, the bigger the gap, the more dollar they're happy to pay you to reach that gap. If the desire is there and they're saying to you they can't pay you with dollars, but our idea is pretty cool, I will close that off straight away because I don't want to waste my time. Every idea is pretty cool.
So
Right?
never
Either they probably don't have money.
Mm.
Right? Look, some people just don't have money. So that's we're gonna be.
Most of the ICOs like are based on that scenario, like they don't have money, like there's no venture capital.
No, because they don't have business concept. They don't understand they can raise money, but they don't know how to do it. Right? They don't know how to do it. They need to show people how to do the money. They need to present it to people. They need to do a roadshow. They don't know that. But if you come in place and saying, guys, I have a plan, I can do that, but to execute the plan, I need money. You need to pay me to do the work. I'm not just going to do it. Why would you do it? Right? So the first question is, do they have working capital? If they don't have working capital, forget it. Don't waste your time. Don't. My first question is this your startup? If this is a startup, who's sponsoring this? Who's sponsoring this entire thing? If they say, sorry, we don't have sponsors,
everybody's chipping in from their own pocket.
No,
you know,
no, no. I don't want to work.
Like
No.
young kids, they're working together.
I don't want to waste my time, man. I love their enthusiasm or I love their ideas. I love all that. But I'm not. If you like things, then work on it. Personally, I don't want to work on it because I don't want to waste my time. There's a lot of people out there who's got the money. They're happy to pay because you don't want to do that again and again, right? So, from your perspective, if they're not happy to pay you, like people paying it, right? People paying with dollars. You need to just come out of there and start asking for it. If people are not, so if the other thing is if you guys are approaching people to become an advisor, then the role reverse happens. Means that you not or don't know how to set the scene. So we'll talk about day tomorrow afternoon, how to not do that.
I'm
Right?
getting approached.
If you're getting approached, which is cool.
But still, I'm getting that. I'll pay you with tokens.
Nah,
that kind of
we need to put a process together. Nobody says that to me. Nobody comes and says that. So don't do that. So let's do this. Pick up your target market. What's your target market look like, and what their characteristics are. What do they believe to be true? What they believe to be false? What their biggest desire and the fear is? Is the market disordered away from the objective truth or towards the objective truth?
Can you reword that last question?
So the last one. So I think the biggest thing is
Are they running away from the truth? Or
yeah.
towards the truth? Like,
Are they running away from the truth?
or with the truth?
That would be based on the current market, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Current market story. But that may not be the last thing you do, right? Just
No. Because that's where you're going to create the product.
Finding it very hard.
I know creativity is hard, my friend. You haven't used that muscle for a long time. Creativity is not easy if you haven't done it. Because the jobs, the workspace, the corporate world, all given. You don't create. So that's why it's hard. But I would highly recommend it, participate and do something because you want to develop that muscle. For us was really hard as well. For me it was impossible. I come from a corporate as well. But since I started using my creativity mind, I come up with the examples I didn't even know I can come up with. I make up stuff because it just comes around. So
Like, what do you believe to be false? Like, how would you identify that? Like, what do they believe to be false? So if I'm in a market,
it's just the opposite, right? So what is the truth? Truth is I must have a degree to become an expert. Right? That's my truth. I must have a degree. The false would be completely opposite to that. I cannot work without a degree as an expert. Right? I cannot work. That's just the truth or the false. Right? So the opposite, completely opposite to that. So how are you going, Alka?
Yep.
You done, Cindy?
Yep.
All right, you want to share?
Yeah. So target market, skilled professionals currently enrolled in their last year or fresh pass outs.
Or the university? Yeah. Okay.
And their characteristics will be enthusiastic, ready to commit to a plan, pretty much, and have money.
Yeah. Or looking for a job.
Yeah. Looking for a job.
Yeah.
What do they believe to be true is that they need a job,
Yes.
and that degree completion will help them get a job.
Yeah.
Once they complete the degree,
Yeah.
they'll get a job.
Yeah.
And their biggest desire is to get a good pay,
Yeah.
land up a job, and the fear is fear of getting rejected.
Yes. Very cool. Very good.
Yeah, and so is the market distorting away from objective truth or towards the objective truth?
Yeah.
So it's I wrote it's distorting away from the objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the objective truth is, you don't need. So if their truth is they want to have a job, they want a high-paying, good job, right?
Yeah.
And they're going away from the market means that you
Relevant job to their degree.
Yeah.
Skills.
So means that they're going away from truth is they're trying to force their skill set into the market.
Yeah.
Which is not the way the market works.
Yeah.
But now the opportunity here is because they believe in that pattern, they are most likely to, so you can actually help them get that job.
Yes.
Right? which is good
Yeah.
because they believe in that. So now you can actually help them. So what it means is you don't need to create separate product or something else.
Yeah.
You can just help them with what they want
Right.
because they're coming with that belief. You understand that belief for them, right? Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, in the fears, I think I've written a couple of things. Getting rejected.
Yep,
Of
that's the
not
biggest
having
thing.
a job for a very long time.
Yeah.
Not getting a job in a like 6 months or 1 year.
Yeah.
And fear that their skills will not be are not relevant to the market.
Yeah. So my biggest, I think now we're going to talk later as well, that so if we're targeting this,
Yeah.
how to keep ourselves separate from the rest of the other crowd out there.
Yeah.
Right? What's the product you're going to offer
Yeah.
very specifically who target certain people in that space?
Yeah.
Whether that's finding just an IT job for a while,
Yeah.
just technology work,
Yeah.
or whether you're targeting certain type of people, or girls. I don't know. You need to sort of decide which way you want to go by looking at the market.
So my intent here was not just, not for me finding a job for them kind of a thing, or just making their CV. I'd rather want to enable them to do it by themselves for different types of things different types of job that they want would apply, but they don't understand the trend, that what things are required.
Yeah.
Like for example, you got to go out and network, but where?
All right. So my question would that be? So what's going to happen is now you know the problem.
Yeah.
So you're giving the solution,
Yeah.
but there won't be any results.
So the results for the results part, when we are into that program or when we are going through that whole steps,
Yeah.
we'll be actually applying for the jobs.
Okay.
So
Good.
they can use their Seek, Indeed, LinkedIn,
All
whatever they
right.
want
Good.
to.
Good. So
Yeah.
means that buying your product,
Yeah,
buying
will-
your program,
Yeah.
will enable them to get the results.
Yes.
And you're going to help them to get the results.
Yeah. That's
All right,
right.
that's
Yeah.
good. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's perfect sense because now you're applying this. Okay, this is the problem. This is my solution.
Yeah.
My product. My way of doing it. My 7 steps.
Yeah.
And that's your end
Yeah.
result.
Unless they get it,
Yeah.
then there's no point because then
True.
the
I agree.
product is to help them do it.
True.
So
Perfect.
once they can do it, then they can do it again.
Absolutely. This is, and that's your recipe in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Cool. Anything you came up?
After targeting small to medium businesses, it
Uh,
could be operating in local areas, manufacturing factories, for example,
Yeah.
but has to be established businesses, and
Yep.
not like young kids, people with experience.
Yep. Yep.
What they believe, what do they believe is true, is that they can reach out globally, they can sell the products online, but they're surrounded with a lot of nonsense, with regulations and how they can do it.
So their belief is they want to sell stuff overseas.
Yeah.
Is their belief or is that what their mission is? That's
Just things more mission.
so that's what they want to do as for business, right? They want to sell stuff overseas. Yeah. But what their belief is in that community, the belief is
Will buy it.
now
The belief
I'll give you another option, right? Just a thought came in my mind. If I'm running a company and I'm have that, my biggest belief is I can just do it myself. I can do it myself, or we can do ourselves. Is that what your target market is doing it? They can just do it themselves.
No, I'm just using.
What's the product you have? What's the product you're selling? Offering, I
It's
mean.
a resourcing company.
So you offering a resource.
No, no.
Okay.
So I'm using an example of like
Okay.
a company that I have delivered something in the past.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm trying
Yep.
to put them in the picture
Yep.
and try to build like from a target perspective.
Yep. Okay.
So they currently run a company.
Yeah.
We've got about 200 to 400 staff that they supply.
Yes.
Companies within the area of like them.
Yeah. Yep.
They want to expand out, where they can provide resourcing and the skill sets and capabilities in Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide,
Yes.
or even in Fiji too.
Yep.
But so they believe that yes, they can do those things.
Yep.
They can deliver skilled resources in this area
Yeah.
as a
That.
product.
Yep.
But every country has got their different rules and regulations and things like so. They say, okay, like, if we operating business here in Australia and we supply resources over there, like, those are like some of the things that I can't do.
Yeah.
Like in Australia, you need the 457 visa for
Yep, yep.
So how they go through that part. And
Okay.
the part of Australia that the biggest desire is to grow the business into
Yeah.
every state.
So biggest drive to, yeah, okay, cool.
And with the fear of like, again, every state, every country's got different rules. How would we manage all those things?
Yeah.
So I worked with them like about 2 years ago, and that's something that we're looking at.
So what product did you provide them for that problem?
Oh, I didn't. At that time, I wasn't even thinking
Okay.
to help them with the solution, but
Alright.
these were some of the discussions that they were having.
All right. So I think my question would be move away from that just for one reason, because that might not be your target market for what your product. So the question would be, what product you're trying to offer, or somebody who you can actually help with. So when I say target market,
Mine, no.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when we say target market, means that you're trying to offer somebody something.
Okay, I was just using an example of what I've gone through in seamless.
No. What are you going to offer something? At the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to create your product, we want to create your service, so you know what you're going to be selling. On Monday morning when you go, you have clear things in your mind. No, this is stand up. Yeah. Do you want to walk around? Go to.
That's why I was sitting there. Stop it. That's all right.
That's okay. You can sit at the back.
Do you want to sit and put your leg in the
You can lie down at the back. There's a few chairs. Put them together.
Yeah, that's right.
So while you're doing it, Ganesh, Vikram,
I'm still thinking.
yeah. Okay. So what we'll do is we can come back to this. Simon, how did you go?
Yeah, okay. I think so. My target market would be current established business owners unhappy with current payment systems, supply chain solutions, or trust issues within the business.
Yeah, good.
And then I just sort of did two, because I'm doing the bathroom renos as well. Homeowners looking for bathroom renovations. I'll just do the one example.
Yeah.
What are the characteristics of business owners? Well, they're confident, they're action takers, usually okay communicators.
Yep.
What do they believe to be true? They need to constantly be evolving their businesses to stay competitive.
Yeah.
That's all okay to be truth. And then what they believe to be false, belief in degrees, certification, their expertise. What are their biggest desires would be to expand and grow the business, fears would be failure of the business.
Yep.
And then the last question, I haven't answered it.
Okay. So we really need to come up with this. So tonight, you got something to think about, right? When you go home tonight, I want this to be answered and this one to be. So we want to write 5-6 beliefs. So this I just ask you guys one belief. I want you guys to ask or answer 5-6 beliefs about your target market. What they believe in. What they actually believe in.
I found it hard to answer that. What do they believe to be false?
Just the opposite.
Okay.
Which is absolutely, say it from their perspective, what they think, this is absolutely crap and bullshit.
Yeah.
This is just false. It's absolutely crap. You can't make $1 million in 2 months. Absolutely crap.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Never. That's false. So that's what their belief is. Huh?
Just to clarify, the target market is the product you are selling, kind of.
Target market is the people.
People. Yeah.
So people,
Where is the product?
Not companies,
we're going to design the product.
Or,
not companies, organizations.
No, companies as well, but what they look like.
So if I say, for example, like, just as an example, if I say my target market would be insurance companies.
Yeah.
And then from there you build.
Yeah. Because the end goal is not just go out and just try to do something. The end goal is find something which they need so that we can actually provide you product, which actually give them the results so you can actually make money. The end goal is not just randomly doing stuff, right? So we want to do something based on the market research. We want to talk about that, what's out there, what their beliefs are, what they're doing. This is a perfect example, Airbnb, I put it there. Airbnb was just like, we all know that hotels were existed before that. Right? We all knew that hotels are there, hotel people can stay. Airbnb came in, changed the way we all thought. We all thought early on that if we leave our house and we have to live somewhere else, that has to be a hotel. That was a reality for us. But that wasn't actually a reality. That was just a distorted reality. I mean, we thought that this is everybody has to do. If I'm going on holidays, the only place I can stay is a hotel. Airbnb came in and said, no, you can stay at somebody else's house too. Right? A lot of times, of many years early on, we didn't believe that. No, I don't want to stay at somebody's house. They had to have the challenge. They've gone through that. Now, they're bigger than Hiltons and everything else. They had to think differently kind of stuff as well, right? They've gone through that same thing. How do you apply this in experts market? How do you apply this? What we talked about. So, NLP coaches. People, does everybody understand NLP? NLP is a neuro-linguistic programming. There are a lot of coaches out there who do this. Is people copy others without asking why. Everybody go to Tony Robbins events. Tony says that I started neuro-linguistic programming in 1960s. That's where I learned the techniques. Everybody thinks that they can become Tony Robbins by doing this degree or by studying this. Right? That's where the disorder. Everybody is doing it today. Everybody doing. Give you my grandmom's story. We had a family spoon. A family spoon which was being generations, everybody been using that for a long time. And that family spoon's been part of the family. And whenever we made a specially thing called spinach, that spoon was taken out and used for that. And became a tradition, like, okay, if you're making a spinach, you need to use that special spoon, right, to do that. It was a big kind of made with a timber, nicely done, nicely crafted, very nicely done in a way. And then we've been using that as a tradition in our family for a long time. And my auntie was using it. My auntie's daughter-in-law was using it. And it sort of came from generation to generation. And one day, I asked this question, whenever you make spinach, why do you use this spoon? What's the reason you're using the same spoon all the time, right? And the answer was because our great-grandmom, mom used it and my mom's used it. And well, what's the reason? Like, why for spinach? Why would you use it? Why not anything else? You can use for anything, right? It's just a spoon. They said, no, it's a special spoon for spinach only. Okay, what's the reason spinach only? Why would you do that for spinach? What's the reason? I said, can we call her and ask her what's the reason why you have that spoon? So we called her, and I was sitting and said, can you please tell me, you had that spoon they've been using for spinach all the time, and they're all using it. Now I know you have 5 daughters, and everybody knows in the house that spoon is for spinach. There's a tradition with doing. Why you do that? And she goes, which spoon? I was like, that spoon, everybody's using it. She goes, oh, that one. Oh, you know why I used? Because that was the only biggest spoon we had, because we had to cook for 5-6 people in the house at the time. And that was the biggest one. We could actually stir it really well. And that's where we started using it. And then I was like, what? You can use any spoon? She said, yeah, that's the reason we've been using it, because that was the biggest one. We could actually stir it really well. And we used to cook for a lot of people in the house because, family was bigger and we had a lot of daughters and kids and stuff. And that's why it became a spinach spoon, because it was the biggest one and we stayed. So the reason I'm telling you the story is because all these people have these stories. They don't know that why they're doing it, but they're doing it. Like my aunties and my moms and all that people been doing that some work without knowing why they're doing it. All money goes to people who create. Remember what I said earlier? People who create makes the most money. People who follow and operate, they don't make any money. Operators don't make money, creators make money. Right? That's why the franchisee. Operators don't make money, creators make money. Right? So if you want to make money, more money, bring people to the objective truth. Right? So this is what Airbnb did. This is what we're doing as an expert. We bring people to the objective truth. You need to look people from the above and see what is the truth is and bring it to that. People have certain expectations, certain beliefs, certain values you need to bring to them. So I'm going to turn things around within the experts market. This is my thing, right? I'm going to change things around here because I'm going to stir the pot now. Right? What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to stir the pot in the experts market. People out there who are doing whatever they're doing, they're not teaching the real thing. And I've been there, done that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stir the pot because they're away from the objective truth. Does you understand that? Does it make sense, right? Yeah, they're away from the objective truth. They're teaching information. Information, if you're teaching information today, it's free. There's no money in information. The money is in implementation. The money is in implementation. If you help people to reach their goals, that's where the money is. Not by just telling people, because information is available on YouTube. So restore truth, restore truth, restore truth. Open to question everything. Don't follow, ask question. Question everything. I think that's the biggest thing. Don't follow people, ask questions. Because if you blindly follow people, you become a follower. Ask question. Don't follow people for no reason. All right. Okay. Let's quickly do it. What did you learn from this one? What did you learn quickly? We talk about target market after this. What is the niche market? We talk about this niche after that. 3 things. What did you learn? Does anybody want to have a break? No? All good? Tea, coffee? We're just going to finish the target market and then we're done for the day, right? Target market. I really want to know the target niche. How do you do the niche market? What is niche market? Are you good with the time? Yeah? We can finish the target market. I want to talk about the target, right? Really good. What did you learn?
Creating is not easy.
Yes, creativity is not easy, right? The muscle you haven't used for a while.
And what I don't want to do is what I used before didn't work. So just don't want to bring that in.
No, that's okay. No.
I'd say the biggest takeaway is, I would say, think outside the box.
Yes.
You know, sometimes we condition to think one way, and like you said, truth's being distorted.
Yes.
And how we need to break the distortion and show people the real truth.
Yeah. That's where the expert advice comes from, guys.
Yeah.
That's where the money is. Yeah. Because if you think yourself as an expert and you want to act like an expert, you need to bring people to the truth. The more you bring people to the truth, the better it is. Because for them, for everything, you need to bring people to the truth. And that's where the money is.
How do you identify the truth yourself?
Ooh, that's
question.
The hardest question, my friend.
Yeah.
So,
The truth, I think
Let
the
me-
truth is different.
yeah,
It's perspective, right?
let me give you that example. Remember what we talked about earlier? When you standing as an observer, when people are talking here and there, and you standing here up as an observer, then you can see the real thing. When you become an observer of any situation, when you become an external from any situation, you bring your perspective to that. You don't want to work in their frame of the world. You want to work in your frame of the world. If somebody says that I make sure that I only have shower on Mondays, rest of the week I don't have shower. But what do you need to do? Hang on, why? What? Never heard that before. Why would you do that? Right? You're bringing your view of the world. Means that you're trying to restore the truth in them. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. If you talk about religion, it's a fight. So that's why I'm not going to talk about religion. I'm talking about business here. Right? No religion here because religion is far away from the truth today. Far, far away. Far away. If you're trying to restore truth there, it's a fight, man.
You get
You
killed.
might just
You're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
So not that discussion. We're not having that discussion at all. Not with the religion. I think that's the biggest discussion. But we're talking about that. We're talking about the because once you become an observer, you see the things as they are, not what they see it.
But then even as an observer, you can maybe provide your perspective to things
Yeah.
that might not be the truth.
Yeah. But who decides the truth? That's the answer, right? So when I say truth, you need to bring it as close as possible, right? So you need to say that rather than giving your point of view based on the judgment, you need to give it open opinions, right? So you need to provide an open opinion for the something rather than just saying this is a definitive way of doing this, right? Provide your open opinion for this. Yeah, but based on your experience.
How do you become an observer?
How you become an observer, not take part in any discussion. Say, for example, when you walk home and you see fighting is happening, right? Something is happening, right? Some sort of, or say, for example, you kids, you have boy and girl, same age, they're fighting. So when mom and dad comes in and they see the kids fighting at something, kid says, he punched me. No, he took my this. So what mom and dad do? If you get involved in that, did you punch him? Did you took his stuff? You are involved in that stuff. When I say observer, you take them both away, say, guys, if you keep fighting with each other, you know what's going to happen. No movie night. You're not going to get that, so sort that out yourself out. Who's the problem is that? They're going to blame again. He did that, she did that, he did that. They're going to do that same thing again. But what your role as an observer is, don't get into that he did that, she did it. Tell them exactly what's going to happen, what the consequences is going to be if they don't do it. After that, they'll be fine. You need to tell them exactly what's going to happen. If they don't, either become friends or either come up with the agreement or something. That happens to the business world exactly the same thing, right?
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true because when I was managing,
Yeah.
two managers don't get along.
Yeah.
They keep on talking shit about each other in front of me. Then I try to bring them together. I put them both in the room, and I try to make them friends.
Yeah.
And I get in the middle of it.
Yeah,
Then
participant.
that becomes impossible. Then that becomes impossible.
That's impossible, yes.
They talk shit to each other about you.
So once you become a participant of something,
Yeah.
then it's really hard to get out of that place. So that's why I said become an observer. Don't get into that stuff. Provide your opinion from an external point of view. And that's what people are looking for, an external view. They're not going to pay you so much amount of money if you're an internal. Nobody pays people so much amount of money if they're already internal. Right? You probably know that if you worked as a contractor. You already know that if you work as an advisor today. They don't pay anybody that much amount of money because if you are an internal person. They only pay the external people because they want to get an external point of view or want to get the work done. Huh? Does it make sense? Yeah? Anybody else? What did you learn?
Well, the only thing is create,
Yeah.
think about it, think about various things happening in the market.
Yep.
Think about the target market,
Yes.
and also keeping in mind that it should not be just something that yes, I'm coming from that background, which is I'm associated to that sort of people, but
Yeah.
is it also good for
True.
what I'm trying to do?
True.
Because I don't know yet the competition yet.
Yep.
What it is, who does it.
Yep.
I had never taken any help in that area, so I don't know. So maybe that rational thinking, getting out of there and just thinking whether I really want to dip my hands into this sort of a model or not, or maybe something else is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than going back to the past. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, just the target market, thinking about the target market, because sometimes maybe you will get so many clients, so you expand it and then you actually lose everything, kind of thing, because you get distracted from your, it's not values, but your focus, and you try to cater for too many people and you can't really keep focus on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, but we're going to target
Yeah.
the niche market now, so you're going to get more clear view of that.
I was going through these
Yeah.
questions was
You're gonna
really
get-
good because,
I think it's just to make you aware. I want you guys to, when we finish the target market today, and when you leave today, go back and look at these questions again and answer them because that's going to change.
Yeah.
Ganesh or Samin, did you?
Creators make money, real money,
Yes.
and how to better define your target market specifics.
Yeah. And
identify your target market, but how to identify them.
yeah,
As you mentioned earlier, becoming observer.
yeah, become an observer.
Step back and look.
Yeah, and that's the meditation practice I learned. That's why I'm sharing that. They talk about in meditation. If you want to have a peace in your life, become an observer, and that works so well in the business world. When you become an observer, your point of view is the best point of view because you're an external guy. Let's have a look very quickly. Target market. I'm actually going to redefine. As I said earlier this morning, I think I mentioned that I'm changing the way we talk about. Look at the niche market, and we say this is my niche. My niche looks like this, and I've seen a bigger problem in a niche market definition. Whichever business I went to, whichever book I read, they all talked about niches in a different way. They talked about this. Let's look at it. You know who, like, this is what a niche target market is, right? Definition of target market. You know who you need to talk to, and you can actually talk to the people in a crowd. Say, for example, if you're sitting here and you say, "Hey, doctor," and people who are doctor, they look around. You know that who to talk to, so you can actually create a specific message for those people. It's like niche market is very good in a way that there's difference between a journalist, people who are GPs, and people who are surgeons, right? That's a difference because GPs make normal money, surgeons make way too much. Give name and face to the crowd. It tell you exactly who they look like, who they are. It tell you exactly, your niche market is. Everyone is a journalist. People who are rich, they are specialized. So remember this line, remember this quote. Everybody is journalist in the world. They are very generic. They're very journalist, right? In a way that journalism is very normal thing for them. They know everything. They want to know everything. They're very generic stuff, right? You want to be specialized because the money is being specialized, right? So you want to be specialized. My mistake, I made everyone my client. When I started, I didn't understand this concept. Everybody said, who's your client? Who's your target market? My answer usually was everyone. Everyone. The people who breathe my target market. They were like, what? That can't be target market. What's your target market? Nah, I don't know. But then people started to give me this new concept. They say, define you, like I've been to a few, like Tony's stuff and other people's. They said, define your target market. Who's your niche? Define your niche. Then we started to define our niche. Like, say, for example, you mentioned your niche is, accountants. Like, I don't know, which industry you said earlier? Resourcing, right? Resourcing, right? That's the industry, right? This is how we started to apply it. My target market is architects. My target market is, certain professions, real estate people. My target market is the business people, like, this type of business. We all define that way because that's how we've been taught. But then when I started to learn is, when I said, hang on, as an expert, we're doing something which is different than the other market. What it means is we're standing here, this is our front view of the world, and I'm taking people to the desired future. My client cannot be static as well. If I'm teaching people from here, if they are here and I'm teaching them to be here, if that's what their desire is, they want to fill that gap with my help, means that my client cannot be static as well. They should be moving from here to there, right? That's what it is. As an expert, they're looking for your advice. They are looking. That's what your client is. That's what we do as an expert, right? They're looking for advice. So my client cannot be static. Everyone wants different things. If you want to serve everyone, that one or two, three product won't fit in. You will constantly changing the product and services to help everybody. That's the main reason, right? So that's why you want to have one product, one service to sell to one type of people. Because if you're selling to everybody, you need to have so many products. Right? So many things you need to have. I'm not saying you don't have it, but when your business is about $5 million business, then you expand that level. Right? To start with, you need to have this. Right? You need to have that in level. Picking a target market. Remember this. When we talk about niches, we talk about target market. We think that this is a permanent. It's not a permanent thing. Come up with few based on your experience. Come up with few and pick one. Don't think about it, the value or the skill, just pick a target market. Don't think about it, what value you can add, what you can do with that, what product you need to do. I think you guys are a bit better today. You probably know most of the stuff, But if you're starting from zero, if I'm speaking to somebody who don't know, I would say just do it and then decide what value, what skill you need in that target market. Remember what I said? We're starting differently today. Now we started to talk about the market now. I'm not saying that you don't have a skill. I'm talking the market now. Decide what market wants and create a product based on that. Don't just create a product and try to sell that product. You know what I mean? Don't just leave a job like the way I did it and trying to say I'm building this company and the people didn't even want that. Don't be like that. I'm saying find a niche which you want to serve, find the problems, what they want to do, then give them something what they're looking for do it. Find your mountain and own it. We already talked about this morning. Right? My journey. This is my journey. Very quickly explain this. Looked like in last many years. This is what I've done. Online portal, trading platforms, IT subscription boxes, MLM, car sales, digital marketing. Cloud was a success. Blockchain was a success. The only place they were success because I defined my target market really well. Right? The only reason they were successful. Yeah. Now, but every business I could have decided it who I want to target, but I didn't define it.
But before this all like
The businesses were generic as well.
trying to target everybody.
Yeah.
There's no differentiator.
No differentiator at all. So
but was cloud
very now.
Because you picked a niche of people, right?
Yeah.
You went through to people where
But
other people were targeting the company going straight to the head, right?
Yeah, but the
people use it straight away.
but the other thing is I had the niche very well defined that I started target the technical teams, technical people. That's my target market was. Right? My target market was not managers. You know, we always say that my target market is small to medium sized companies. That's how we define sometime. My target market is this. I said, no, my target market is technical guys who are working in a technical field, specifically doing this role. So that became really easy. Right? Very
So
target.
They understand your language.
Yeah, they understood my language. So they did.
Cloud, like, is that like a cloud training?
Not the training, consulting. We're doing expert solutions. Like, yeah, consulting. So most people, what they do is they think too much. If you are at one level that you are just thinking about your target market, you're thinking about the product, you're thinking about what you're going to be working with, you're thinking, and you're not taking steps, that's the biggest mistake. You need to pick a product, you need to pick a market and start walking towards it. I know you guys coming from a background, you have an experience, you might just pick that, but pick something to walk with. Because unless you pick it, it's just going to be really hard to walk that way. You know, you can't stay at a parked car.
It's like fail fast.
Fail faster, right? Do it faster and fail faster. What does niche means? My discovery. What does niche says? And this is what I said earlier as well, right? Niche means that a comfortable and a suitable position in life or employment. That was my biggest discovery. Remember what I said? Yeah, that is true, man. That is true. That's what my biggest discovery is. So when it says that, when now you define something, you say, I want to define my niche or my target market, and you ended up defining your target market, saying your target market is an accountant, and you say, that's my niche. But when you define it, they are very comfortable in their life and employment. They are very comfortable. Right? They don't want to move, they're comfortable. And you have many jobs like that. You have real estate people, they're very comfortable. They don't want to move. Because if they don't have a desired future towards their career, towards their business, I mean, they might have again with their life, they want to do something, they want to buy new clothes, want to buy a new car, but for your specific stuff, they might not have that. They're very comfortable. So my stuff happened like this. If they are very comfortable in what they're doing, how are you going to do it? Your business is not going to run, right? So what it means is, my discovery was niche is static, that not moving. That's what people do. That's how people been defining. They're saying no future pace. There's no desire in that space at all. If you define a niche, they don't have a desire, you're wasting your time. If your niche has no desire, you're wasting your time. They all have a black and white positions. They all have very specific, like doctors, lawyer, real estate, very static niches. This is how they look like. Doctors are look like this. This is my niche, right? They all are standard categories. This is what I said earlier. Are you B2C or B2B guy? Like, have you heard that? Yeah? Have you heard, right? Yeah, in a corporate world, this is what people talk about. What's your business? I say, my business is this. Or is it a business to consumer or business to business? Right? Who do you sell to? Are you sell to business to consumer or business to business, B2B, right? And I was like, what? Where did that categories come from? Who defined these? People came up with their own categories, right? This is what came up with. This is industry. I'm not talking about one or two people. This is the industry-wide stuff.
Very, very general term.
Very general term, right? People do that all the time. This is what we have been doing since the industrial age started. Standard cookie cutter approach for everything. This is what. So what I decided is new market niche way, new way of looking. And this is my finding and not available anywhere else. I'm just going to talk through what I discovered along the way. The new finding shows instead of is, what they want to become. So forget what they is. He is an accountant. Forget that. What he wants to become. That's where the interest is. That's where you need to look into. What do you want to become? What do you want to be? New way of looking is P2P, peer-to-peer. Blockchain fits perfectly P2P here, right? So your P2P. New way of looking is person-to-person, peer-to-peer. It's no business to business. Remember what I said earlier? There is no business to business transaction. It's always people to people. It's always people to people transaction, right? Let's look at the tribes and communities. Example, old niche. This is how people look at it. Doctors, accountants, IT consultants, supply chain, people to people. People who want to become that, whatever that is, right? People who want to release ICOs. People who want to get job. We look at people who are moving, not static. Does it make sense? Yeah? Cool? We look at people who are moving. They're not just sitting there. They're not accountants. They're not doctors. You're looking at people, I want to become an accountant. I want to become a doctor. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for static people. Don't look for static people because you're going to waste so much time and energy into it. I wasted so much time looking at static people. I defined the categories or niches based on static people, but that didn't work out. So I decided that I want to work with people because that came from the same thing. If, as an expert, I'm taking people to the desired future, and if the target is static, what the hell I'm going to do? There is no gap. There's no gap to fill. If there is no gap to fill, there's nothing to do for me. I can't make money because there's no future, right? So we group of people by desired outcome. We are a group of people. So where they are, where they want to go. This is what you need to find out. Where they are, where they want to go. Not a static dot, it's a moving line. Example, target experts who want to create 7-figure business. That's mine. Right? This is my target. So when I discovered that, hang on, then I don't need to target the technical guys. Does it make sense? Yeah. Now I'm walking you with my business. So I said, before that when I said earlier, my target market is technical guys who are professionals. Remember what I said? Who have these skills. But then when I discovered it, hang on, my target is not that because if the skill set is standing there, it's a static. It's IT, consultants, accountants, real estate, all these are statics. Mine is this. Target experts who want to create a 7-figure businesses. That's my target market because they're moving, they're going somewhere. So I need to start targeting to those people who are moving rather than sitting. Does it make sense? Yeah? Cool. Why do we do it this way? So exactly the same thing. If you read that book, it pretty much explains that.
Making competition irrelevant.
Yeah, making competition irrelevant. So if you play in that, it's a red ocean. Everybody's playing in that. If you haven't been able to find any success running a business in the past, it's because you played in a red. It's a red ocean.
Dropping price.
Yeah, dropping price. You can't win with the pricing. That's the reason when I say I'm going to charge this much, people pay for that. It's not because I'm the best guy in the world, not at all. But It's just the way I put it, and I know and understand my target market really well because I know they want to get somewhere, and I'm just helping to get there. Yeah? So don't have a static market. This is my target. Don't have a static market, have a moving target. So this is how it looks like. This is how you pick the niche. Who had the question, how I want to pick the niche, right? This is how you pick the niche. So you have a skill set. You come up with certain skill set, and you have a market which you work together. So let's look at this. Oh shit, I did that again. All right, this is a skill set. Then you have a market, and then you have a product. This is a skill. So when you have this is your skill set. This is the market you're operating in. This is the product and services you've been offering or you have in place to offer. Sweet spot is this one. This is where your market niche is. This place. This is how it looks like as an information. And we're going to do the exercise. We'll find more about it. But this is how you need to understand the concept first. Right? Have a skill and you did some sort of market research. You have the entire market now. And you have a product which you think of going to give it to them. Now when they intersect at one place, this is where your niche comes in place. This is where you're going to be able to serve the best. Serve the best. And it's not the day one you're going to be able to do it, but it takes a bit of time, right? But this is how it's going to work. Theoretically, it looks like this. So market needs and wants are the most important thing. We talked about it earlier. This is the most important thing, right? So I want you guys to do the. Hang on, let me see what's there. So we start with tomorrow. What time is it? Yeah, it's almost done. So what you can do is, there's two options, right? These are the questions we want to answer. So you take this home and do it from home. I know you guys are tired, too much information, too much stuff happened today. So you guys can take this home and answer these things. List 5 to 10 things you are good at yourself. We want to build your skill tool today. What are 5 to 10 things you're good at? Ask other what they think you're good at. You don't need to ask today. I'll send you an email. You can ask next week as well. But ask people. If you know somebody, you can call and say, what do you think I'm good at? I'm running a program. Yeah.
So that's the second question I ask other people what you're good at.
Yeah.
Can we use like where people in LinkedIn have actually picked you for certain skills?
No,
No.
not that. Not that.
People do it randomly.
That's a random, man. That's not. You want to ask the real people. You want to ask people who are close to, because you're not looking for just a random stuff. You're just asking so that sometime you might not thought of that. Not because you want to work in that area. Sometime you might not have thought of that. So if you have a family tonight, you want to see a lot of people. You want to call people. If you have a few close friends and family, call them and say, I'm doing just a course. I'm working on this. I'm just wondering if you could tell me, as part of the course, my question is, what do you think I'm good at? What do you think I'm good at, right? Can you tell me those things? And list the 5 industry and target markets you know. It's just you know about. Target market, like you said, resourcing is one of them. List the 5 or 10 industries you know. Just list it down and do the other bits as well. And then we talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow morning when you come, we're not going to talk about market research, how to do that. We'll talk later. This is afternoon. But tomorrow morning we're going to talk about frames and frame controls. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow morning, because you're going to be fresh. Well, let's talk about that, and that's going to go till the afternoon, and we're going to go through exactly how to pitch your idea, how to do all that work, how to create your presentation, how to do all that back-end stuff, and I'll talk about my way of presenting as well. And what?
Do we need to get a laptop or something?
No, you don't need to. No, this is good. This is more than enough. All right, laptops, we don't need it. Let me stop this.